As Howard is coming to the microphone, I just want to take this opportunity to thank him and his team for all of their work in creating Lula, our Lexington One Online Learning Academy, essentially from scratch. Nearly 7,600 kids, I believe, is where we have ended up in that number. And Howard, I realize you've been toiling very much so behind the scenes. And so, again, I just want to say thank you to you and your team. And we could give Howard a round of applause, please.
Little. Madam Chair, board members, I'm here to address lesson number 4, staff's parents and student needs training and virtual learning tools. And first, just want to say that in looking at where we needed to head with this, we had a coordinated effort with Dr. Smith's office and our digital learning coaches, both our teacher and instructional leaders across all schools. And this coordinated effort took place over the summer to address the needs of our stakeholders. We recognize that our preparation would need to keep us agile as we plan for an unknown environment, knowing that we would have to shift as our environment dictated. And the approach was to keep it simple and focus on foundational tools that would be relevant regardless of the mode of instruction that we were in and we might be in for any given amount of time. So we looked at trying to keep it simple and designing and facilitating teacher training in 4 core areas. To focus on a grade level specific learning management system that would serve as the hub for student learning and parent communication. To focus on the ability of teachers and students to engage in a synchronous video conferencing tool like Zoom. And then a third piece was to look at the tools that would allow us to create and collaborate and communicate and facilitate digital workflow through Google products like Docs and Drive. Thanks, Josh. We also knew it was important for us to be able to develop and create asynchronous materials like screencasts and virtual discussion forums because we don't need to be live online all the time, whether we be in a e-learning environment or a fully online environment. And so collectively, this gave teachers a foundation for managing an online classroom, whether it be hybrid or virtual. And so we added strategy-specific sessions for building online communities and supporting student social emotional learning. And these sessions were offered throughout the summer and were made available then again asynchronously for teachers to access when they return to school. And all that professional learning then was made available as a part of the school-specific professional learning plan when teachers came back. So they had an opportunity to engage over the summer and then to create a baseline, across the board for proficiency and implementation. Then that was included when teachers came back for that first week on their contract. Well, let me go back one more. I want to speak to this e-learning leads concept in elementary school. To address and support the specific needs in elementary school, this summer, a group of our digital learning coaches led a cohort of 34 elementary teachers, and it was 2 per elementary school, and led them through a focused sequence of training that spanned really the entire months of June and July, and prepared those teachers to earn a Google Educator Level 1 certification. And to serve as an instructional leader, prepare them to serve as a leader in the use of digital learning tools inside of their school this fall. And so that's an effort to build some capacity in-house at our elementary schools for instructional technology. And then these leads maintain a digital learning coach point of contact to help them answer questions and to provide support into the elementary schools throughout the fall. And so that was a way for us to try to address some support in elementary schools while leveraging our current staff and human resources in place through our digital learning coach team. For parents, we provided a number of support resources for parents over the summer and leading into the fall here to help them become more familiar with some of these tools that we may have had in use for a while and some newer ones as well. We have resources available on our district website to help our parents kind of navigate the different devices at different grade levels, different learning management systems, some of the different tools that they use for synchronous communication or asynchronous communication. Really a majority of the parent support that's taken place is coming directly from our schools. right? They're working directly with the people in their own communities and answering those questions that come up directly from the school. Now, that might be in the form of an online hub on their website. There's some pretty impressive support resources out there on school websites. But also, a good bit of it is coming directly from the staff inside of the school. And our teachers and digital learning coaches have been just truly amazing in their efforts to show just grace and patience and perseverance as they're walking through a number of different questions and procedures with parents on the phone or via Zoom to help them with their needs as they kind of orient themselves to some of the new environments that we're experiencing here this fall. Students, we're continuing to provide them onboarding sequences at the beginning of this year. It's important, particularly if you're a sixth grader or even a ninth grader, and you're receiving a MacBook for the first time, to learn just the basics of that new machine. But really, maybe most importantly, we try to keep it simple and build routines and procedures, especially with our learning management system. We want to establish consistency so they know where to go for communication, and they understand what the basic digital routines are so that they can submit work, pull work down, interact and collaborate with their peers and with their teachers, and exist inside of an environment that's powered by technology. So that learning management system really becomes the hub for communication and resources and assignments. And then this year, we introduced Zoom video conferencing as a new tool in our digital ecosystem. When you're face-to-face, you have that luxury of having some contact with the students on a regular basis, but we've done a really nice job with leveraging this tool and doing so in a way that creates really meaningful experiences for students, particularly when teachers are able to structure it in a way that pulls in smaller groups of students, right? And can really tap into a small group experience and conversation and focus in on the individual needs of smaller groups. And so, again, our teachers do really an amazing job using the resources that they have to navigate these new environments and teach students to use these tools as they outline and roll out their expectations for them in those environments. And so as we move forward, we know that we want to add some additional things to our district website and enhance the parent supports that are on there. Quite frankly, we'll be looking at some of the things that our schools have done to provide some of those some tool-specific tutorials on the school pages, which are really directed towards the expectations in those communities. There's some really terrific stuff out there. But generally speaking, in a district our size with such a profound emphasis on digital learning, that really the most strategic approach for support is to build capacity for use within each building, just for exemplary practice and impactful collaboration. And so we'll continue to collect feedback from the field and respond to the needs that emerge from those data and react accordingly. I'd be happy to take any questions.
I would just like to say everything I hear is so positive. In fact, I think in the last 2 days, because I forwarded them to you, we've had emails asking, are we going to continue this second semester, because the parents are really liking it and say it's working out well for those who chose it. So thank you, and thank you to your team. It seems to be, I have not heard anything negative, not one negative thing about the virtual program. So maybe you.
As a parent with a child doing Lula, it's been phenomenal. I mean, really just as smooth, really even smoother than I expected. No hiccups, the teachers have been extremely responsive to his contacts to them. The Zooms have been great. As he's moved the last 2 weeks, more asynchronous. I'm actually seeing some self-direction and management of his time. He did one way last week and decided he wasn't crazy about how he had broken up his day. So he said, I think I'm going to try something different this week. I'm like, wait, we might actually have a little bit of, maturity here. This is great. So I just love it. It's been fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you both. We're learning things every day, and we're driven to continuously improve as we work through. I guess the third week of the school year. But we're committed to making this an option and a viable option for students for some time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bissell.
Thank you.